What's going on, Cancer? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to the Chariot and Friends. Justin here, and it's that time. You feeling lovely? Because the moon is. She's in Taurus, her sign of exaltation. And I do, even though, even for me, this Taurus is usually a time when their planet's going through Taurus as kind of activates quite a few placements on my chart. But with the moon being here, even the squares that she'll form, they're always really pleasant. They're just oh, you're right. Could use a little more rest, or what, I could use this, or maybe I do need to get outside more. There's little things like that. So I just love a good moon in Taurus. And we'll talk about all those earthly things here in a little bit. But before we jump into that, if you're new here, again, my name is Justin, and know that when you come across this video, you're in sync with the moon, and she loves that. But this is also a place for you if you happen to have Cancer in your placement. Sun, moon, rising, maybe Venus, wherever. This one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off that lovely luminary, the good old moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going to board. Of course, it's all them lunar shenanigans. I think I just felt her smile back at me. And just so y'all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one. So take what fits into your story, discard the rest, and everything will be dope, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Because, yeah, really, the moon, before I really get into all that, depending on when you're watching this, happy Mars Day, and I'm going to shuffle for your general energy of the day. Mars is associated with Tuesdays, Martes, and I find that Mars days are great energy days. Whether if you need to get some moving done, Mars is there for you. If you need to get a workout done, Mars. Mars days are my workout days, especially if I can get them during the Mars hour. Usually I'll try to hit them during a Mars or a sun hour. Excuse me. Oh yeah, thumbs up. That's right. Those are great. So you see. But yes, I do find just in general Mars days are great days for just getting the blood pumping, taking some action. Noticing, even summoning up, I feel up some courage. If you have, this could be a great day to go ask for a promotion. Maybe do it during the sun hour too, where you're feeling a little extra charismatic, or, just play around with this stuff here, the days and the hours, and see how that resonates with you. But I also would invite you to, one thing I like to think about during these days whenever they happen to come up, well, I mean every day, but is think about your relationship with Mars. And not just in first, of course, think about where your Mars is placed, what sign is it in, what house is it in, but also too, how do you do with Mars transits? Mars is retrograde back in Cancer. We have some feelings about that, but it's fine. But also too, knowing whether you have, because if you have a night compared to a day chart, Mars in the night chart is dope. Mars is your bud there. You can work more constructively, whereas opposed to a day chart like myself, Mars can get you in trouble sometimes. It's trickier to work with Mars, but those are just some things to think about. But let's get into the lunar shenanigans, because on the 7th of January, at about 2:11 p.m., and that's Pacific time, the moon is going to enter into Taurus, and we're in a waxing gibbous phase right now. And the waxing gibbous is about integration. You've taken that action during the first quarter, and now we're in that time to get things organized. It's okay, I thought I could run 5 miles, but maybe I'm going to start off with 3, and adjust expectation. Just do that analysis, and it's not a time to be kind of harsh or anything. And actually, I'm going to pause for 1 second. I just remember, I'm going to take an action real quick. Hold on. All right, Mars Day had to get some get some things lit up here. But what was I talking about? Let's just get, I think I was talking about Taurus. So, the waxing gibbous phase, integrating, analysis, all that stuff, all those good things. But let's talk about the moon in Taurus. Because the one thing I do like about this, because one, this is where the moon finds her exaltation, but Taurus is the sign that's ruled by Venus. The nature of Venus is to attract, to build harmony, beauty, and it's especially, I feel why the moon does so well in Taurus is because, Taurus is the fixed earth sign, and they're feminine in nature. And for me, Taurus is about building things of long lasting beauty. Really, and Taurus I feel is a sign that does appreciate the earthly things, you know? And I think that, and the way that you enjoy that is through the body. And I think that the reason the moon does so well here is that there is this really nourishing energy that comes with Taurus that I really dig. I've actually been surrounded. I'm noticing that I'm surrounded by Taurians here as of late, and I'm not mad at it. I do love Taurus energy. But I think that Taurus is a great one of reminding us to self-care, but that self-care through to of not just like appreciating the things, but also putting out there. I find that Tauruses usually have some sort of talent, you know, something, you know, again, Venus has that creative capacity. And I feel like Taurus can excuse me, being the earth sign, they can take all that stuff and just give it form. So this would be a great time, I feel, for nourishing any sort of projects that you like doing. Going outside, just nourishing, just if nothing else, nourish this body, you know, this ultimate manifestation of your will, in a sense. And yeah, just do some nice things for yourself. Go treat yourself to a swim. Maybe go amongst some flowers. Maybe go listen to some music. You know, go go feel the sun on your skin, or maybe go feel the rain on your skin. You know, those types of things. You know, I find that the moon in Taurus is a really great time for just doing some really nice things. I think for the body and taking care of. I think even too, just kind of like, you know, in order to take care of that stuff, like doing some even cleaning up around your home space, I think can even be a great way of working with Taurus energy, cooking some nice foods for yourself. You know, if you've been maybe kind of doing real quick stuff, you know, like, yeah, take the time in. I actually got some things cooking on the stove right now. House is smelling nice. So, yeah, do those types of things. I think could be very pleasant, to make a moon in Taurus very pleasant. But I do think that also, too, last little thing, minus all the beautiful things, Taurus is a very practical sign and is one like a hard-working sign too. I feel like being the fixed sign, once they set their mind to something, they're going to see it through, and they have that stamina. And so this can be something with this intention that you're building on. This moon in Taurus is finding a way to make the thing that you're doing enjoyable. So like I was saying, if you maybe set a goal for 5 miles, but start off with 3 so that you don't come where you get to where you're not enjoying the process. Make it something that you're building your way up to, you know? That's just like this kind of a basic example, but and if you're wanting to work with these planets and things more closely, see how these transits and things are affecting your chart, down in the description box below is a link for all the services that I provide. Maybe you got your moon in Taurus and you're going through a lunar return right now, want to see what the energies are coming up for the month, how to take care of the body. Got you. So definitely check that out if that resonates with you. But let's go ahead and switch over here. And then last little bit, these readings that I do, they're not gender-specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And then I'm going to ring this bell to bring in some good vibes, so adjust your volume if you need to, but let's get to it. All right, let's get into this thing. Oh, wow. All right, I'm definitely going to get a clarifier on this. But here's Fanuel again. He's coming to bring more. I actually love that. Coming to bring more hope, optimism, and new beginnings. That's what this card is about. But with this Archangel coming up here, you know, especially coming up during the waxing gibbous phase, I think that this is. And I feel like I talked about that. Taurus, I think Taurus came up forward when we were talking about this, the Hierophant. But there's something here about sustaining that hope. And I feel like, you know, if you're in in the middle of a new beginning right now, there's something here about, maybe while this is coming up in Taurus, about stabilizing. You've made that big shift or whatever shift, and now it's about getting that, again, we're integrating here with that waxing gibbous phase here. But okay, yeah, let me get another one. Yeah, I'm gonna get a card to kind of clarify this new beginning here. Okay, thank you, Spirit. Okay, interesting. So you have the sensitivity and strength card here. And this is a card of tapping into forces within. And so I feel like in order to keep tapping into, hmm, it's like in order to keep something going, to find the strength to keep going, to tapping in with those like those inner forces within, that inner motivator, that inner cheerleader. There's something about becoming more sensitive to, maybe even more receptive to that encouragement, and that builds up this sense of strength. It's not just like getting into this false hope or something along those lines, where it's like it's acknowledging that maybe something might not be where it needs to be yet, but it's at least moving in the right direction. It's getting to where you're needing things to be. But I do even think that there's this sensitivity thing. If you're not in the middle of doing something, there's this invitation of tapping into forces to start up something new, to bring up. It's like almost like giving you. To me, it's like something here is like it starts with an idea, even in order. I'm not quite sure what that's about. I'm about to find out. Let's get some tarot on this and see what the past energies may be looking like with this. Because even just thinking the number 3 on this card, that's Empress energy, that's Venus. And so maybe there's a sense of abundance that we're not tapping into. Interesting. So you have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse here. And this to me, this maybe is not feeling satisfied with it's like not feeling satisfied with the end goal. So there's something that's missing in order to get something to an end goal here. You may have started, maybe you moved somewhere and maybe didn't calculate that there was going to be, you moving from a one neighborhood, and then a new set of problems have come up or something has arisen. With every new beginning, new thing comes new challenges too. And but this is in the past. So I feel, and which is we love because this is the 7 of Pentacles in the Thoth deck. That's a card of failure. And I'm thinking even about the majors with this. This is the Hierophant, Taurus, and Saturn. And I think it even calls to the faith to see something through, even through the failures, when to not let something bog you down, but again, to keep the optimism. Try again. You know what? This round didn't go right, but the next one is going to go through. And then just to continue to tap into that strength. And with each call of optimism, it's like you're striking the hammer. It's like I'm picturing a forge, and every time you hope, your sword is getting sharper. That doomsh, doomsh. But I think it's about hammering something, not aggressively. I mean, we're being, we got a feather here on this anvil. Let's get a clarifier on the 7 of Pentacles. Interesting. You know what? Thanks, Spirit. So you have the Princess of Wands here. And that's interesting. That's just like the second time in this that she's popped up in the past. And it feels like that this princess had a lot of hope, had a lot of optimism, but it's something, it might have gotten, not, just like she's gotten discouraged, or that she's gotten, like, she feels beaten down or something like that. Disheartened is even the word that's even kind of coming through there. And there's something even in that energy of maybe feeling that fail, feeling that defeat, like, oh, how could I have done this better? I think that even coming with that approach, because that's what I'm feeling here. It's like coming with a softer approach can gather a lot more strength even than maybe you've been if you've been beating yourself up about taking begin. Maybe you took a step and you into like you feel like you regretted it. Maybe I made the wrong move, the what ifs, the things starting to get into the head here. Like, can I actually? And instead of like tapping into those things, let's put a lid on those forces for a minute. And I think that it's easy for some reason to fall more so, and maybe it's just who knows what that could be, but to kind of fall into that kind of negative spiral and it calls more strength to get into that kind of positive mindset there. But let's continue this story here. Let's get some present energy and see what's going on with us. I'm even getting like maybe you feeling beat down by optimism. Oh, and here's the world. Here's Saturn. Maybe, yeah. So you got the world in reverse for your present energy. And that's something it didn't quite come to fruition yet. I think that it's like, but you're close. The world is here. The finish line is in sight. But I think that it feels like you're really close to something, and this is the things usually get the hardest before you have that breakthrough, before things start really kind of taking off there. Let me get a clarifier with that. Look at this! Moon in Taurus. You got the Six of Pentacles here, and this is a card of success. And that we love that. Because this to me is the continuing to show up through the changes. The moon, and that's really interesting, even just thinking about that. The one thing that is consistent about the moon is that she's always changing. And I think in Taurus, when she finds peace in that fluctuation, then the success comes through. Then she knows when she's more acute and sensitive to her strength. When she's feeling stronger one period and maybe feeling a little lower energy, it's like, you know what, I don't need to do that. There's a balancing thing that's coming with the Six of Pentacles, as far as like how much do I give to something, as opposed to tapping into forces and and like kind of hold on, let me call in the reserves a little bit, need to build myself back up again. But like I said, you're like right at a finish line here. I mean, to have that, me talk about that, and then success come up. I think, and maybe too, maybe this is looking at, maybe success isn't quite what you expected it to look like, but don't, let's call a win a win. I actually had gotten, this was a couple of days, was it yesterday? It might have been, when I'm recording this, it may have been yesterday. But I got in the Six of Wands, and I've been pulling from the Thoth deck, and card of victory. And you know what? I was counting all the wins. And the big one, small one, getting the laundry done, win. Getting videos done, win. What else did I do? I did a number of things. And that's just like wins all over the place. But they're small ones. Small ones, some big ones. But either way, they were six, I feel like there's something here about don't discount what success looks like too. That might even be something like maybe what success looks like for you may be different for others too. And maybe you didn't get that 5 miles we were talking about, but hey, you keep showing up on them 3 miles, you're gonna get those 5. Let's see what the future's looking like. Nice. Okay. So you have the Eight of Swords in reverse. And for me, this is a need to, to get out of your way. To not become your own worst enemy. To tap into those forces that just as much, if you need to feel some type of way, do that. Allow yourself that space. And then when you're feeling ready to move on, make sure you give that same amount of time that you spent maybe in that kind of like maybe defeatist kind of headspace to that winner type of headspace where, I've made an initiative to get out of bed and and set an intention, win. It's a step up from where you were. And I think that it's not letting maybe how that looks deter you maybe. Let's get a clarifier on this. Not to get too much in your head about this thing. Oh, perfect. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Spirit. So the Eight of Swords is clarified by the Princess of Swords. The Princess of Swords, that's the earthly part of air. And that to me, even because I was like, what imagery does that bring up for me? And that I picture like a dust storm or even like a sandstorm or something along those lines. It's different from when I think about maybe like the King of Swords, for example. But this to me too is being mindful of our thoughts becoming things with the Princess of Swords. Because you see her background here can be, it's kind of chaotic what's going on here. And she's got a Medusa on top of her head. And I think that sometimes when we get in our head like that, how we can get frozen, how we can. And I think that in the myth, I think that's how, what's his name, defeated her, was how he used a shield and she ended up looking at herself and turned to stone. And I think that this is, just tapping into something different, tapping into a different type of strength, developing, allowing yourself to feel sensitive to maybe to some of these, to the failure, be with the failure, be with how you're feeling, but let that strengthen you, not let it deter you. Let's get some advice from Venus. Oh, well, that's fine. You know what? No, hold on. Thanks, Spirit. So you have the Three of Swords here. Now, the Three of Swords can be kind of a sad card, but this is a really strong card. This is Saturn in Libra. And that's where Saturn finds its exaltation. And for me, the Three of Swords can be a hard lesson, where you may have gone through the heartbreak, but you're going to stitch it back together. You're going to learn something from this experience, and you're going to be more disciplined going forward, being more thoughtful. That Libra energy. Libra is the initiator of air, of thought. And that Saturn is being more structured, being more rigid, not being in the same situation maybe that you've been in before. Again, maybe something had failed. It sucked. We've been in our head about it. But now we're in the kind of, this to me is almost like a grieving process. But like in the grieving, I think that there's an acceptance that's coming through here as well with the Three of Swords. And that it's not just meant to be something that just keeps you in a rut, but to allow it to be a healing force where, this may have been a really tough realization, but now that I've realized this thing, I know what to do going forward from here. Like it's that kind of enlightenment, and it may not have been the lesson that you wanted, but it turns out it may be more useful than what you realize you needed it more than you thought. So let's get a clarifier on that. Okay. Spirit. So the Three of Swords is clarified by the Eight of Wands here. And I think that that's one, and a thing that Mercury in Sagittarius, I find as quick as it comes, it can go. And I think that it implies with this sorrow as well that maybe again something may had took the wind out of your sail, kind of dimmed your fire a little bit. Oh, yeah, because I was like, where did I get that sail from? But Prince, both of the wind and fire are here. But I think that there's. Oh, and we can go ahead and switch back over. But I think that there's something here, just like things will get moving again. But I think sometimes when the Eight of Wands comes up, there can be so much that's happening because that's a very active. Mercury in a fire sign is very active, and especially in Sagittarius, because this is where Mercury finds its detriment. I think it's just because the mind can be all over the place. It's getting a lot of things, even more so than I think than Mercury in Gemini, and I think that there can be an overwhelming thing that comes with this Eight of Swords, but it's I think that there's this thing that of needing to maybe find some stillness too, to not find, because maybe how we're maybe coping with something, maybe this busy work, and just allowing yourself some time to sit and kind of process some things is another thing that's coming up with there. So you can tap within these forces, and yeah. And it's even got a message there. There's this strength and softness. I'm really getting called into that feather hitting the anvil. Anvil, yeah. And I, yeah, there's something about that as well there. So take that if that resonates. But I think I'm going to leave that there. That's a very interesting reading. But if you like that, if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up. And share this if you know somebody who can get some nuggets of wisdom from this. And subscribe there, you Princess of Wands. Hit that bell button to get notified of these videos each day. And then last little bit, I'm going to shuffle for your surprise cards here. But if you want to know what's going on with the other celestial bodies, go check out my other channel, Alchemist 8, where I do weekly videos there talking about how to set intentions and work, practically with these placements here. So yeah, just some things to think about there. There we go. But thank you, Spirit. Let's get into your card here, because you got the Love for All card here. That's very interesting. I think that this is, I'm going back to that present where with the world in reverse. And I think that there's something where a chapter maybe hasn't been closed out. Maybe there's been some old thoughts kind of popping up, maybe bubbling up there. And I think this love for all is finding a love for all of the situations that have happened in life. Not just the pleasant ones, but the ones that have made you stronger. Maybe the tougher Three of Swords ones that that made you more discerning, that made you, just made you stronger. And I know this next one may be even a little tricky, but even finding a love for all, especially if like maybe people were involved and maybe you felt like a slight or something along those lines, to even find love for them. You may not necessarily love them, but maybe just sending them that abundance, as far as like I wish you higher vibrations and things, because why would I want less for you? Because I seen when you at less and it's not cute. Let's raise it up. So I find myself, even if I find myself, kind of feeling some type of way, I do remind myself, like, what, yeah, I wish you, I salute the divinity in you and I send you love and light, and I might still be a little pissed, but but that doesn't change the fact that, just so that you don't have to hold on to that anymore. Because why? The thing's gone, the thing's happened. What for? Are yeah, so even just looking kind of at this tree and thinking about what trees go through. They, thinking about the critters that crawl up them, taking their leaves and doing all the things they do, the weather, and that it still loves everything. It still shows up and does something very vital and gives, makes oxygen and cleans the air. And so, all right, but I think that's all I got for you there. A little something to think about. But until next time, keep eyes on that moon, raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you. I didn't write this one down. On the next one. Oh, you know what? Let me just look real quick. let's just look. Where is the moon? I appreciate you hang out this long. Where is the moon at? May I catch you? The 9th. What's that gonna be? Sunday, possibly. Wait, no. What am I? Mars? Oh, wait. Thursday, Jupiter Day. I think.